pulling away from the docks in Seattle. I don't see a tugboat. I don't know if that's an engine on this ship that's doing that, or it's moving us. I don't see a tugboat, but it could be just down there where I can't. That's a big ship. Woo. Getting a little breezy out here. Holy cow. Day 2, sea day, no ports today. We have seen some land. Possibly be land up there. Can't tell. I don't think it is. Alaska, I don't see any snow unless it might be a little bit of snow right there. Or it might just be rock, I can't really tell. Still about, I don't know, 4.5 hours out of Juneau, our first stop of the cruise. We appear to be turning around. Well, the cloud. I'm gonna say the clouds covered up the snow-covered mountain. You just barely see it back here. There's Juneau. And then here's the Encore. And it is one massive ship. Pulled into port in Skagway this morning. Just had breakfast, getting ready to disembark and see what's going on in town. I just seen something. Well, there it went again. Something swimming. I don't know if it's a seal or an otter or what. It disappeared. I thought it was a duck at first, but I believe it's an otter. I don't even see it underwater there. Oh, I'm about to come up to the boat. I can't see it anymore. I hope there's an airport over there. If not, we just witnessed a plane going down. Skagway. All the cruise ship sitting at the end of the strip in Skagway.
What is this?
I assume you guys want to be warm. So it's either you're warm or you can see. So we'll try and meet you halfway and have these a little bit cracked as we go up the highway. And then Sir Taylor, I'll have you be the dispenser of the paper towels if folks want to wipe their windows. Appreciate you, brother.
Way up. Barely see through the clouds. It's really neat. Waterfall. It is, isn't it?
White Pass Trail got the name of Dead Horse Trail because of it. Alrighty, so we're gonna keep on going. Hopefully our fuel tanker friend in front has gotten a little bit more of a lead for us. So coming up on the right, we're going to have our Captain William Moore Bridge. So Captain William Moore, funny enough, was a Canadian that founded Skagway back then. He wanted it to be called Mooresville. But you may be wondering why a Canadian founded an area on U.S. soil. Well, back in the day, there was actually kind of a discrepancy between where the border of Alaska and Canada was. But we'll get more into that in a bit. The thing you need to know about this bridge is it's a single cantilever style bridge. Basically, all the supports are here on the south side. This little creek we're going to drive over is an active fault line. And basically the way that this bridge worked would, if it had an earthquake or something, the north end would detach and then the DOT would come and fix it. So for our guys on the right hand side, you guys are welcome to stand up and look down the creek there. Let me know if you spot my bus from last year down there.
There really was a bus accident, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's like drill.
Huh?
So that's like drill.
Yeah.
It's not surprising.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
So I want you guys to notice how much shorter the trees are getting up here as we get higher in elevation. And over to the left, we can see some more examples of that witch's hair I was telling you guys about. But we're quickly entering something known as subalpine parkland. Basically up here, the weather, like I was telling you guys, it gets pretty gnarly and pretty hairy. So these trees don't have quite as long of a growing season, and they generally are a lot shorter. You'll also notice a lot of trees on one side won't have any branches, like here on our right side. Basically the north side won't have any branches. That's because the wind always knocks them off and doesn't really let them grow. So here it is, summit elevation 3,292 feet right here. Alrighty guys, so we made it to the tippy top. So before I get too ahead of myself, I want you guys to think of our journey from about 30 feet above sea level in Skagway all the way up to nearly 3,300 feet above sea level. We did it in about, I don't know, an hour with a couple stops in between here and there. I want you guys to think of the gold rushers. So basically these Klondike Gold Rush stampeders, and we'll get more into it, but I want you guys to think about this. They had to have 50 pounds on their back every time, about 80 trips up and down this mountain in order to get a ton of goods up to Canada. The Canadian government ensured that every man, woman, and child had a year's worth of food before they could enter the Yukon territory. So I want you guys to keep that in mind then. It's our anti-terrorist gate. There's a terrorist threat in Canada. They drop that down and keep them out of Skagway. Super effective, right? It's not like they could just drive through it. Alrighty guys, so we're gonna come to another stop. We like to call this international bathrooms. Do you guys know why we call it international bathrooms? Because when you're headed there, you're a Russian.
We are actually in Canada now. Trees are very small here. You want to go stand in the road?
British Columbia being in charge of this little area. It's actually Yukon Territory's Department of Transportation that maintains this stretch of road. Mattresses, anything you could think of up to the Yukon Territory. And one way they did that was when it would land in Skagway's Deepwater Harbor on U.S. soil, it would basically be sealed, quote unquote, where they would have, you know, some, I don't know, a locket on it that hasn't been tampered with. That way they could bypass United States Customs. And then the customs officer here would make sure that it's all sealed. And if anything got open, and if it was like American or something, they would have to pay a duty on it. Peoples of Canada, and George Carmack was, I believe he was from Connecticut. Well, one day they were out prospecting, moose hunting, this, that, and the other, basically just hanging out in the area that would eventually become Dawson City, Yukon Territory. And so they did something called aligned with something called the Miners Code. And basically, anytime you saw someone and you had some good gold prospect, and you would say, hey, check out Bonanza Creek, I got my claim staked there. So George Carmack, there's a bit of a discrepancy on who actually discovered the
I just got snow in my boot. Stepped off in here and got snow in my boot.
Feet deep in certain spots. And this lake is about 30 miles long. It's another one of those glacial tarns or ribbon lakes. And in this area here where it's super gravelly, there was a landslide last year that blocked the highway for about a week. But yeah, here in Lake Touchai, you got northern pike, you got some walleye, you got some brook trout, lake trout. Pretty good fishing from what I hear. So here in the next couple minutes, we're going to come up on one of my favorite stops. We're going to get to where the boat launch is.
This is Lake Touchai. Oh wow, look at that mountain peak up there on the other side. That's where he said there would be goats.
Right there. Oh, shoot.
Black bear.
Here, can
She's like, why are you taking pictures of me?
Wait, what the hell's going
Please
on?
don't. I didn't pack my bear spray. So yeah, you guys keep taking a gander at that. I'm still peeking out our back window. If a car does start coming, I do have to go though. Okay, guys?
sorry.
All right, do we all got our pictures and everything?
Standing
He
up.
looks like he has.
All right, does anyone else need a picture?
Does he have the mange or something?
I think he does.
Oh, a bear show. Hey, poop.
Keep at that spot right there. Here, just come straight forward for me a little bit. All right, that is perfect right there. All right, big smiles. Awesome.
Almost looks like a goat up there.
Yeah, we're gonna haul booty
It's not
back to
moving.
Skagway. We're gonna stop at that little spot where the Alaska sign boarded up. We're gonna have that one last stop, and we're gonna take you to town. Yeah, of course. Yes, ma'am. Sadly, it's boarded up till May 1st. A bunch of people. I usually don't stop there because it's just boarded up, but since a lot of people have asked, I'll go ahead and make that stop. History of a lot of Skagway's illustrious gold rush era. His name was Jefferson R. Smith, also known as Soapy Smith. So Jefferson R. Smith was born in Coweta County, Georgia, back in 1856. His mother was a hotel manager and his father was a lawyer.
Left Skagway. On our way to Glacier Bay. Looks like it's been snowing. You got your thing in front of them, honey. Here's our first glacier. I don't even see it, do you? Maybe it's on the other side. bear? Is that a bear over there on the bank? No, I think it's a rock. Well, that's neat, isn't it? There was a bald eagle on that ice right there. Took off flying. That thing's further away than what it looks like. Let's see, it was on this one right here. Too bad it didn't wait till we got up there a little closer. See where the ice ends right there. And it just turns into a stream running out into the ocean. It's hard to see for all this fog or cloud. I don't know which it is. What that is. Doesn't sound like a seagull, does it? This is Grand Pacific Glacier. Dirty glacier.
Look, we're going against the glacier.
We're spinning right now.
Yeah, but Susie, one more time. You can see the picture.
That's Grand Pacific.
You ready? I see Eli here. Here you go.
John Hopkins Glacier right there. You couldn't get a good view up from the room, so we came down to the bow. See it now. Park rangers leaving the boat. They were on all day for the Glacier National Park. Winding down Thursday evening. On our way from Glacier Bay to Ketchikan, Alaska. .40 in the morning. We're nearing Ketchikan, Alaska. We're supposed to be there at 6:30. looks like we got beat here by the Joy, which I'm guessing is about the same size as our ship. Wouldn't you say? Only ours is prettier.
I'll give you a hint. It was not religious. That was the hint.
That was the hint.
What's that?
I talked too quickly.
Job description? Nope. History? No, that's story poles. They were actually used kind of like street signs. So a clan pole was a marker of basically tells you what clan was living in what area, and that's how you know going down the waterways where you were.
That's a little old thing.
This one is the story of Whale Woman. A little different than Sea Woman, but still contains an eagle and a whale. So we have eagle up top, woman, and whale. So Whale Woman. This one's an interesting story. So eagle and woman are good friends. For more wealthy or prestigious families who would like a little more privacy, or they are used for potlatches, hence the name potlatch huts. Basically, during these parties that they have, which are called potlatches, you've heard that word a couple times now, it's like this giant party, and it's kind of a reverse birthday party because whoever's hosting the party is the one who gives all the gifts. So they're a really expensive party because you have to feed everybody, you have to house everybody, and you basically give the rest of your stuff away as gifts. In the end, you end up pretty much destitute. But where are you from? This is a clan house. Now this is where you would, your whole clan would live. And a typical village would have large village would have like 5 clan houses. So you'd have different clans within the same village. But basically, you wouldn't have the doors we came in. Those are for fire safety and building codes nowadays. Instead, you'd have that small round doorway. That nice smooth pattern on that, that's called an elbow adds finish. We'll get more on that later. But basically, this was carved as traditional as possible. You may notice, this railing that shouldn't be here, and those bolts and stuff that shouldn't be here. But other than that, it is pretty much carved, and electricity. We don't need, or they didn't have electricity. Everything else is pretty much carved traditionally. In here, we have a lot of representation of different clans. So you have the ravens, wolves on the outside. You'll see the orcas, and several of the different sub-clans on these posts right here. So we get to see a lot of that. Behind me, you'll see this lady right here. She has what's called a lip plug or a labarette. That is a sign of wealth and status and motherhood in village. So many of the wealthier women in, or more elite women in the village. I've heard up to, I haven't heard the last. Yeah, so the door would be right about here. It'd be a little bit bigger than this, but not much. So kind of hard to get in, right? Yeah. Then you might notice on the sides here, you see those guard poles up there. On the front here, we have a screen. This one is another. You guys kind of want to file it on that side, that'll help me. So.
I spotted a Sasquatch in Alaska. I think there's another one on up there. Some kind of ship. What day is this? 7? Day 7 of the cruise. We have left Alaska en route to Victoria, British Columbia. Pulling in there about 8 o'clock this evening. Sea's a little rougher than what it has been, but this is the nicest day we've had so far. Yesterday was our first day with no rain, I believe. Today is really nice. Birds are all circling around right there or something. There's Victoria, British Columbia, I assume. Quite the change of scenery here. Back in port. Seattle. This is quite the operation they have here. They're unloading food. We pulled in here about 6 o'clock this morning. They'll be loaded up and pulling out about 6 or 7 this evening. The next cruise worth of guests. So the people that self-embark have already left. When they do, they're taking all of their luggage with them. Those are people that have a ride or a vehicle here. We're going to walk up. We'll be one of the last to embark because our flight from the airport doesn't leave till late. We're going to walk up to the Space Needle. Check that out. Then we're going to head to the airport and meet up with my old buddy Ken this evening. There is the Norwegian Encore. That's the boat we just got off this morning. Yeah, that's a pretty good walk. And it's all uphill. You really can't tell looking at it here.
Saw a dinosaur. All right.
It's all uphill to here. But we're on the Space Needle now. This is Seattle. There's another cruise ship down there. Let me get it. All this stonework. This is the light rail, Seattle, headed to the airport.